Hi guys, so this is the second part of chapter 7, which will be in chapter 11 in your e-textbook, yeah, which we're going to cover on the additional considerations in the pricing strategies. There are 5 learning objectives, basically first to describe the major strategies for pricing new products, and then explain how company find a set of prices that will maximizes their profit from the total product mix, and then discuss how company adjust their prices. Number 4, we're going to learn on the key issues related to initiating and responding to the price changes. And lastly, the overview on the social and legal issues that affect pricing decisions. So let's look at the first learning objective. So basically, there are two pricing strategies for a new product. Yeah, the first one is market skimming pricing strategy, which when you talk about market skimming, you will set high initial prices to skim revenue layers from the market. Typically, product quality and image must support the price. Meaning to say, when you want to put at high prices when you first launch that product, you must make sure that the product quality is really good and there is a image which people will look up or people will perceive it as a high quality or a good value, and also branding as well, right, that support that particular price. And buyer also must want the product at a particular price. A very good example, a company that always do this market skimming pricing is Apple. Yeah, when every time they launch the new iPhone, okay, they will always put a very high price, okay, initial price, which is very expensive, and people do buy that particular product, okay, do buy the iPhone, and also people know that the product quality and also the image, like people always say orang kaya kan pakai iPhone. Okay, but not necessarily orang kaya lah pakai iPhone, right? So typically they will put this market skimming strategy for their Apple products. Okay. Secondly, the market penetration pricing, which involve setting a low price for a new product in order to attract a large number of buyers and a large market share. So here what you do is that instead of you put a very high in price, you will typically set a low price, okay, which you normally say it as introductory price for a limited time only, launching kind of new product pricing, which is only cheap only for today or only for the first 100 customers. All right, so you wanted to penetrate the market by offering very low prices so that people are attracted to buy your product, and later you'll be able to get a large market share, meaning many people will buy from you, not from the competitors. So that is market penetration pricing. Okay, moving on to the second learning objective. Okay, let's now see how company find and set prices that maximize their profit from the total product mix. Now, as you know, all right, product mix means there are many different product items and product lines. Yeah, there is product mix. So you have the product line pricing, okay, or you can have the optional product pricing. Another strategy is captive product pricing, or by product pricing, or even the product bundle pricing. So let's look at one by one. Product line pricing, which means you take into account that the cost differences between products in the line. So customer evaluations of their features and competitors' price will be on this particular kind of product. Product line pricing, meaning to say for each item in that particular product line, you will have different prices. Okay, a good example, I think you may want to you may know how much is the prices of Maggi instant noodle, for example. Okay, so Maggi instant noodle, you have different flavors, right? So you have curry flavor, chicken, tom yum, asam laksa, what else, Maggi goreng. Do they have Maggi goreng? I'm not so sure. All right, so different flavors perhaps. All right, but even though they are in the same line, which is instant noodle for Maggi, but the prices are not the same. It's always different. Okay, so Maggi curry at different price, Maggi tom yum is at different price, asam laksa is also at different price. Okay, so that is when you do this product line pricing. Next is the optional product pricing, which take into account optional or accessories products along with the main product. Okay, so if you add on this kind of thing, then you will have to pay additional price, which is optional. If you don't want, then it will not be that expensive or that added price that you have to pay. Next is the captive product pricing, which set prices of product that must be used along with the main product. Okay, captive product pricing is when you actually set the price, like let me see, give you example whereby in order for you to get the product, the base price, okay, there is a base price. So on top of that price, you have to add on other things in order for you to get the whole product. Okay, an example is that typically when I buy things from the Grab food, for example. Okay, so Grab food, when you buy and you order, maybe you can try later on, you will see if you buy from, let's say, Ding Tea or Tea Life. Okay, so the tea they sell, let's say you want to have a bubble tea, so they will set a price. Bubble tea is from 5 ringgit. Okay, but then it's just to get the tea, right? Then in order for you to get the bubble, then you have to add on 2 ringgit, then you can get the bubble tea, really bubble tea, or else you can just get the tea. Okay, and if you want to add on some other things like jelly, for example, then you have to add another 2 ringgit in order for you to get that bubble grass jelly tea. Okay, so that is captive product pricing, right? Next is byproduct pricing, which you set a price for byproducts in order to make the main product's price more competitive. So an example of this byproduct is that the crude oil, yeah, crude oil refinery extract, okay, which is a very important byproduct at the end of its refining process. So when you talk about that, so the substance is ethylene, is a what they call it, the substance lah, the product which is a vital ingredient in manufacturing all the plastic product, okay, like polythene or shopping bags, okay, the PVCs and so on. So knowing the commercial importance of these byproducts, the company can actually sell it at a very attractive or very profitable prices. Actually, this byproduct, when you go about byproducts are actually leftovers or accidentally produced products when you want to produce the actual product. Okay, just like the crude oil just now. Okay, next is the product bundle pricing, which combines several products at a reduced price. A very typical example for this product bundle pricing is when you buy McDonald's value meal. If you buy it a la carte, okay, the prices for each individual item like the burger, the fries, and also the drink will be expensive if you buy separately. But when you bundle it together in a Mac value meal, then you can get them at a cheaper or reduced price, so you save like 4 ringgit or save 3 ringgit. But nowadays not many savings lah, perhaps you can just save about 2 ringgit or 1 ringgit 50 cents, yeah, for getting the bundle of the price. Moving on to the third learning objective, to discuss how company adjusts their prices to take into account the different types of customers and also the situations. So now there are many strategies that can be done, yeah, all right, with the description here. The first one, you can do discount and allowance pricing. Okay, the first strategy, you give discount and allowance pricing. Allowance, you know lah, meaning cheaper price lah. Okay, this is when you reduce the price to reward the customers' responses, such as volume purchases, paying early, or promoting the product. For example, the early bird discounts, okay, for people who actually buy first, okay, who buy or pay it first, all right, or for buying in bundle, for example, buy 1 kilo at 5 ringgit, but if you buy 2 kilo, it is at 8 ringgit. Okay, so that is when you get this discount and also allowance. There is allowance pricing. Second, segmented pricing. Segmented pricing is adjusting prices to allow for differences in customers, products, or even location. This is based on your segment. Yeah, sometimes this segmented pricing is also known as discrimination pricing, meaning to say you discriminate different people to buy the same product at different prices. So typically you have the children price, okay, or elderly or warga emas kind of pricing. Okay, so at the I know in TGV, right, or is it TGV, or in any other cinemas, you have the children prices, okay, for the ticket, but you still watch the same movie, isn't it, like the adults, right? And then if you're a student, you can show your student card and you can get discount for being a student and watch that same movie. Like me, I don't get any discounts, right? But if you go, you show your metric cards to them, then you can get the discounted price. So that is segmented pricing because it's based on the customer. Okay, next is psychological pricing. Now, psychological pricing is adjusting the prices to psychological effect. So typically, psychological pricing is related to the numbers, right? For example, if you see this particular price, RM 9 ringgit 99 cents. Sorry, my handwriting is like that because I'm drawing using mouse. So this one looks cheaper than RM 10, isn't it? Although it's like 9 ringgit 99 cents, but by looking at it, you know it's 9 ringgit something. All right, let me get my mouse, sorry, my pointer back. Okay, so by looking at this particular price, it looks cheaper, 9 ringgit 99 cents compared to 10 ringgit. Then it looks more expensive. So many organizations, that is when you see a lot of them use 99 cents, 88 cents, 89 cents, 98 cents, 95 cents, right, at the back here, typically using the odd numbers, okay, odd numbers to show it's cheaper, right, while the even numbers to show it as a greater value, okay, or more expensive. 999 maybe you don't see it, it's cheaper lah. Let's say it's 999 ringgit compared to 100 ringgit, for example. Okay, so now you can see, oh, 999 is only 999, it's not 100 yet. Sorry, 1000. Okay, right, 999 and 1000. So this one looks cheaper. So this is when you say it is a psychological pricing, right? Next one is the promotional pricing, which temporarily reduce prices to spur short run sales. Okay, so this is a lot of sorry, not a lot, there are many companies do this kind of strategy. Basically it is similar to discount and also allowance pricing, but this discount and allowance pricing, perhaps they are fixed. Okay, fixed meaning to say there are time that they already put, okay, and also the volume that they already set, but this promotional is only temporary. Okay, next is geographical pricing, adjusting prices to the account of the geographical location of customers. Like, you know, 9 ringgit 90 cents in West Malaysia, but then in Sabah and Sarawak is 15 ringgit. Okay, so that is really typical, right? Free postage throughout the Malaysia except Sabah and Sarawak. So Sabah and Sarawak have to pay for the shipping costs. So that is geographical pricing. Next, dynamic pricing. This is adjusting prices continually to meet the characteristics and needs of individual customers and also situation. Dynamic pricing is basically you don't have a fixed price. Okay, it all depends. If you minta discount, you dapat discount lah. If you don't minta, then you get that particular fixed price. Okay, so dynamic pricing is all depending on the individual customers, okay, or the situation itself. So typically you go to pasar borong, for example, then if you can minta discount banyak, then you can get cheaper price. All right. And lastly, the international pricing, which is adjusting the prices for international markets. So by looking at the nation or the country's cost of living, all right, and also the country's accessibility towards your product. Okay, so you can see, or if you can Google later on the prices of McDonald's burgers, yeah, all over the country. You will see that there are different prices. They don't, if you do the conversion of the currency, you will not get the same price. All right, it's all depending on, of course, the international market itself. Okay, so that's the pizza, for example. Pizza actually in the United States is so cheap. Okay, in Malaysia je, pizza mahal sikit. Okay, like bila cakap, oh, makan pizza, wah, kayanya makan pizza. But in New York, for example, if you eat pizza, meaning you tak ada duit tau, because pizza in that particular country is so cheap. All right, next, the public policy issues in pricing. Okay, so here you'll be able to see that what are the issues in pricing, yeah, by looking at the producer, from the producer itself when they start to produce the product, and when the product is being sold to the retailer, okay, before it reach to the consumers. So typically producer will have this price fixing or predatory pricing. Okay, predatory pricing is actually not a good strategy, or not an ethical strategy, we call it, right? Because predatory pricing is when you set a price at very, very low so that your other producers cannot actually survive or compete with your price. Okay, but okay, let's say you use this price fixing strategy. So you have it based on your cost and some markup that you want to set, and then you start to sell to the retailer. Okay, you can use the retail price that you can sell to this particular retailer. Okay, or you can have the discriminatory pricing to different retailers. Okay, depending on that particular type of retailer. Okay, and again, retailer also can use price fixing or predatory pricing, and then later on using the deceptive pricing to the consumer, so that consumer will be able to see and also get that particular product, to get the product at the cheaper price. Yeah, so actually deceptive pricing is when you are being misled, yeah, or we believe that we are actually buying it at a very good price, but instead it is just a fixed or ordinary price. For example, this is actually also unethical, yeah, deceptive pricing, but many companies do that. Who cares, you say, because customers are always being misled. So if you realize, because I always do browsing in Zalora, yeah, so without any discount, the price of the shirt, for example, is 100 ringgit, yeah, 100 ringgit, no discount. Okay, so then the next day, so Zalora did Zalora do this discounting or sale, yeah, they call it 20% off. Okay, 20% off. So the price yesterday was 100 ringgit, right? They don't put 100 ringgit and then they slash 20% to get to be 80 ringgit. No. So what they do is that they put the price before discount, perhaps 120. Okay, 120 ringgit. So then you have 20% discount. So you got what I mean? Now let me calculate. 120 times that 20%. The price is not cheaper into from 100 ringgit to 80 ringgit because 20% off, right? So now they put the price at 120 ringgit and discount 20%. So customer pay 96 ringgit. Okay, because 20% off from 120, then you have to pay 96 ringgit. So in fact, you don't save 20 ringgit, but rather you only save 4 ringgit, which the price is actually deceptive. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? I think I need to show to you using my pen here. Okay, so before discount, the price is 100 ringgit. Okay, I think I will buy a pointer, oh sorry, a pen later on for my lecture. Okay, so 100 ringgit, this is before discount. So then they slash, sorry, not they slash, the next day they say that there are 20% discount. Okay, 20% discount on that particular same shirt, but it is not from this 100 ringgit. Yeah, it's not from this 100 ringgit, but it is from 120 ringgit, so they put slash. Okay, remember previously I saw the price was 100 ringgit. Aduh, my symbol pun, hold on. Okay, so previously I saw the price was 100 ringgit, right? So next day they said, okay, we have 20% discount, but they already changed, not from 100 ringgit, but from 120 ringgit discount 20%. All right, so I have to pay 96 ringgit, not from 100 ringgit here, which is supposed to be 80 ringgit, right? Okay, so this is deceptive pricing. All right, when they actually tell customer that they can save 20%, but rather they what they call misled the customer. All right, so that is actually deceptive pricing lah. Okay, next, let me get my what they call it pointer first. Okay, discount and allowance pricing. Okay, this is just the explanation for each of them. Yeah, you can just go through again. This is what it means. Segmented, this for the senior citizen. Okay, it could also be from product form, the location based, and also timing based. Like if you buy first, then you can get a cheaper price. Early birds kind of thing. Okay. Now the segmented pricing could be effective if the market are being segmented earlier. Yeah, meaning you can actually segment them. You already know that okay, there are people or elderly people that will actually watch movie. Okay, there are children that will actually watch movie. There are also students that will also watch the movie. Second, they must shows different degrees of demand. Okay, so typically, you know, elderly people lah, especially, they don't go watch at the cinema, right? So that's why they wanted to increase that demand. That's why they don't do pricing or discounts for ordinary adult people. Okay, adults like me. I'm not a student, okay, and I'm not kid. I'm not even an elderly people, but I always go watch movies, for example. So they know, okay, these people always go movies, so don't need to give discount to them. But children, for example, not many people wanted to bring children, of course, except when there's a Frozen kind of movie or Tarzan or whatever lah. Okay, so there will be a different degrees of demand for each segment. Okay, and cost of segmenting cannot exceed the extra revenue, of course, because not many of them actually. So that's why they are can afford to do this segmented pricing, and of course, it must be legal. Okay, you can't actually discriminate. Okay, if cantik dapat murah, yang hodoh tak dapat murah, that kind of thing cannot lah, huh? Okay, but at certain places they do have this kind of segmentation by race, not by race, by gender, yeah, like ladies night kind of thing. So if you go karaoke, for example, if how many ladies, you get a discount price. So guys, sorry, no discount for you. Okay, so but that one is legal. Okay, just to increase more ladies to go to the karaoke, for example. Okay. Next is the psychological pricing. Like I told you just now, it's about 9 ringgit 99 or 999 cents. Okay. Then you have the reference prices. Okay, reference prices are prices that buyers carry in their minds and refer to when they look at a given product. Okay, so reference prices is actually when you already know previously how much is that particular product cost. Okay, so you always have in your mind, okay, typically Maggi 4 ringgit 80 cents. So when you want to buy, you will always remember Maggi is 480, 480, 480. But then when you go to that shop, Maggi today is 420, it's cheap, so I can get 2 packets, right? Or if you say, oh, 480, last time I bought it, now it's already 520. Oh, this is expensive, I don't want to buy now, right? So that is reference prices, right? Next is the promotional prices. Like I told you, is only temporary and to increase the short run sales, which example include some special event pricing, limited offers, okay, some cash rebates, as well as low interest or zero interest kind of thing, okay, free warranties, right, free maintenance kind of thing, okay. Some includes also free shipping. Okay, Shopee always do this promotional pricing, right? Free shipping for 19 ringgit. Okay, sometimes they lower down, free shipping for 9 ringgit. Okay, I think today, earlier, my sister told me free shipping for 1 ringgit. I was like, huh, really? Never mind. I don't want to spend unnecessarily, because when you just browse through things, you start to see things and you think that you want to buy it. You don't even need it. Okay. Right. Anyway, next is geographical pricing. Like I told you, different country, different price. All right. And then next is what is FOB? Free on board pricing, which this is a geographical pricing strategy in which goods are placed free on board a carrier, where the customer pays the freight from the factory to the destination. All right. That means you don't have to pay for the shipment lah, right? Because it's already been what they call it, paid, inclusive of the production as when you ordered it. Okay. Normally they will say free shipping lah. Okay. But the marketing term, they call it the FOB, origin, right? Or the free on board pricing. Next is the uniform delivered pricing. This is a geographical pricing strategy in which a company charges the same price plus the freight to all customers regardless of their location. Okay. I think not many can do this, but they can do perhaps within Sarawak itself or within West Malaysia itself, right? So that will be uniform delivered pricing. But let's say if it's to Sabah from KL, for example, then it will not have this uniform delivered pricing. But perhaps they have this zone, okay, because it's a different places, okay. And also basing point pricing means that a seller selects a given city as a basing point and charges all customer at that freight cost from that city to the customer. Meaning to say, typically they have at Klang Valley kind of base, yeah. So if it's only at Klang Valley, right, that means you can get that particular prices. But beyond that particular Klang Valley, then you have another cost that you have to pay. Lastly is the freight absorption pricing, which is a strategy in which sellers will absorb all or part of the freight charges in order to get the desired business. Okay, so freight absorbing prices meaning to say you don't tell your customer lah that you actually pay for the shipment, but you just set that price earlier. That means it inclusive already the pricing for the shipment regardless wherever you are. This is when it is really truly free shipping throughout the whole Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, so there is freight absorber pricing. So regardless you are in KL or you are in Miri, the price is still 900, for example. Okay, so in fact, that 900 perhaps is already inclusive of the cost to ship in Miri. Okay, but to those people who buy in KL itself, they don't need the seller don't need to spend so much for the shipment, but still the seller will charge 900 ringgit to those people in KL. Okay, this is when they can get the extra money to top up that particular shipment that they need to send to those people that are really far, like Sabah and also Sarawak. Okay, and then you have the dynamic. Okay, like I told you just now, there's no fixed prices, all right? So it's typically depending on the individual customers and also situation. Sometimes dynamic pricing is also for the members, yeah? So if you are a member or you are the VIP members, then you get more discounts, right? So that is a dynamic pricing to meet the characteristics of the individual customers. And then you have the international, like I told you just now, it all depending on the cost of living in that particular country, okay, the country of origin of the products, okay, and that's why when you buy Louis Vuitton, right, in France or in Europe countries, the products, okay, are much higher in that particular place, okay, because regardless of the brand, right, they are all made in China, not there are many things made in China. Okay, so things in China will be cheaper because the production is there. They don't even have to bear the cost of shipment to the other countries. Okay, moving on to the learning objective number 4, to discuss the key issues related to initiating and responding to the price changes. So when you already set your price, right, And then over a period of time, you start to think of some changes in your price, whether you want to cut it down or you want to increase it. All right. So you might think of showing some discount, or not showing, giving some discount, or cutting down the price. Okay, now instead of you are selling it at a very high price, you want to reduce a bit. Okay, you can do that because you can see that there is an excess in your capacity. Okay, meaning to say there are many stocks in your factory. You can really produce in large quantity, and the movement of the product, meaning to say not fast enough that people will typically or always demanding for your product. So you might want to actually cut down your price. And also it could be because you have increase in your market share, meaning there are too many people buying your product. Okay, and you are very complacent and see that so many people always buy from you. Now you can actually reduce a bit so that you will be able to maintain your market share. Okay, large market share. Next, you want to also increase your price. Okay, so how can you increase your price when you can see there is a cost inflation? All right, or you can see there is an increase in demand. People are too demanding for your product, then you start to increase your price. And also because of there is a lack of supply, meaning the supply of the product is not that much. Okay, so you can increase your price so that you will be able to reduce some demand. Now, let's look at the reactions to the pricing changes. Okay, so of course, when price increase, product is considered as hot. All right, and company is seen as greedy. Okay, and when you start to cut your price, customer might perceive that oh, there will be no new model available soon, or oh, this model are not selling well, or they might have some quality issues. Okay, isn't it? So you can see these are two different reactions when you do the price changes on your product. And then what happens to your competitors? Okay, competitors also might see some reaction towards the price changes, right? Like, oh, you might want to see why your competitors suddenly change the price. Okay, uh, you might also wonder whether their price cut are permanent or is it temporary. And is the company trying to grab the market share or what? Because you have to be careful if you see your competitors start to really reduce their price for quite some time. Yeah, you'll be able to see perhaps some of your customers are no longer buying from you and they started to buy from the competitors brand. Okay, and also is the company doing poorly and trying to increase their sales? That is another question that you might wonder on your competitors, right? And is it a signal to decrease industry prices to stimulate demand or what? Right, so these are some reaction that your company might see or might want to wonder if your competitors start to change their prices. Okay, so this perhaps is the model, yeah, or the infographic to see has the competitors cut the price, and then if yes, then will lower price negatively affect our market share and profit? If yes, can or should we effective action to be take or not? Should we take an effective action, right? If yes, then you might also want to reduce price or raise the perceived value, improve your quality, or launch new price product to consider it as a fighter brand. Okay, and if it's no, then hold on your current price, continue to monitor the competitors price. Okay, next, responding to the price changes. Okay, so effective action responses includes you might want to also reduce price to match the competitor price. Okay, or you want to maintain the price but you raise the perceived value through some communication by saying that why you want to risk buying something that is cheap, because our quality assurance is at its best. We don't compromise on the quality because our brand is trusted brand, kind of thing. Okay, of course you will also improve your quality and increase your price, and perhaps you might want to also launch a lower price fighting brand kind of product, meaning to say yes, you cannot what they call compete with your high quality or good quality brand or product, with your competitors, but you offer a lower price product. Good example is, you know, iPhone recently launched their iPhone SE second generation. So iPhone SE second generation is actually launching of lower price iPhone, okay, to fight those brands that are at that particular prices, to fight Samsung, Huawei, Xiaomi, whatever, Vivo, Oppo kind of phone, right? So it is more of affordable and it's cheaper. If I'm not mistaken, it is only from 1,699 ringgit for the um, uh, good good as A13 chip. Yeah, that means they say that the processor in the iPhone SE second generation is using the iPhone 11 processor, but the body is from iPhone 8. All right. So yeah, there is actually a lower price fighting brand kind of thing that iPhone launched to fight the price changes towards their competitors. Last one, okay, the learning objective number 5, the overview of the social and legal issues that affect pricing decisions. Okay, again, you will see these public issues in pricing. Okay, how do they think about the particular product, like I already mentioned to you. Now, when pricing with channel levels, when you talk about channel levels, meaning you are having these intermediaries, yeah, channel intermediaries, okay, meaning to say from the producer to the customer, there are companies or there are organizations in between that will actually carry the product. Okay, so they are typically the wholesaler, agent, brokers, and also retailers. All right, these are the channel members. Now, in price fixing, the legislation requires seller to set price without talking to the competitors. All right, that means when you first set your price fixing, you don't talk or you don't see your competitors' price. Okay, and then the predatory pricing, where legislation prohibits selling below the cost. Okay, with the intention of punishing a competitor or gaining higher long-term profit by putting competitors out of business. So this is what I meant just now. When you actually set a very low price, that your competitors are actually suffering because they cannot set the same low price as what you did. Okay, so you can't do that. It is actually illegal lah, right? That is in terms of public policy. And then there's this in US, yeah, they have Robinson-Patman Act, which prevent unfair price discrimination by ensuring that the seller offer the same price term to customers at a given level of trade. So there are many fair trade kind of acts that is being implemented, right? And in our country, we have our KPD and HEP, right? That will actually monitor this kind of unfair prices discrimination. Okay, where because this price discrimination allowing the sell is allowed. Okay, it is allowed if the seller can prove that cost will differ when selling to different retailers. Okay, and manufacturers different qualities of the same product for different retailers. So you can do this, meaning to say, if you're the producer and you want to sell to retailer A at different price and retailer B at different price, then you have to show that these two, okay, are present. If not, then you cannot discriminate. Meaning to say, if I am Nestle, for example, I want to sell to CS supermarket, and also I want to sell to Everrise supermarket. Okay, so to sell to CS supermarket, I will sell at 2 ringgit per unit, but to Everrise, I will sell at 4 ringgit per unit. I cannot do that. Okay, unless I can do that if, let's say, the cost will differ when selling to different retailer. Meaning to say, if to ship to CS it is nearer, but then to ship to Everest it is further up, okay, or far away, then I can actually change my price like that. Okay, or the qualities of the same product for different retailers are different. Meaning to say, CS says, okay, we don't really bother about the quality. Perhaps the one yang nearly expiry date also we want to sell, so you can sell at cheaper price to CS. But to Everrise, we only take product which is up to 1 year expiry date. So below than 1 year, we don't want to sell. So that is the different quality that retailer demanding from the manufacturer. So then you can actually set a higher prices to sell at different retailers. Okay. Next is the retail or resale price maintenance. It is when a manufacturer requires a dealer to charge a specific retail price for its product, which is prohibited by law. Okay, so this is cannot be done lah. Lastly, the deceptive pricing, like I told you what Zalora did, right? So this is when you state the price or price having that misled consumers or are not actually available to the consumers. So you use bogus reference or comparison prices. And sometimes there's a scanner fraud and also price confusion. Okay, you say price from 3 ringgit. But then when you see you want to buy, which one is 3 ringgit? Oh no, that 3 ringgit already finished. Or that 3 ringgit is only for West Malaysia, not for Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, that is also deceptive, other than what Zalora always did, where they say, okay, save 20%. Then actually they don't use that 100 ringgit price, but they mark up that price 120 ringgit just now, remember? Okay, then you need to pay 96 ringgit instead of 20% from 100 ringgit initial price, right? So that is actually deceptive pricing. Okay, so with that we have finished chapter 7 for the second part. I hope you are able to understand, and you have any questions, please ask me in the WhatsApp group so that I'll be able to explain to you. Right, thank you guys, bye.